Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about when are tugboats happening for us and the wipes for my custom server and also for normal Rust. We are talking about Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And I'm Jade Monkey. Okay, deep breath. Okay, so it's probably worth covering the the whole situation with tugboats first, and then we'll go over the different wipes and whatnot. So we really have to start at the Submarines / underwater labs, because a lot of people are still confused about these even being in the game. They're like, hey, why are you talking about tugboats or cars? We don't even see these in game yet. Okay, true, but also some people don't know that these are on Testing Branch, which are a separate download entirely. So if you have the Sony or Microsoft Store, you just search that and search up Rust Console Edition Public Testing Branch. And that's where you'll find these, because we've had people be like, hey, Underwater Labs isn't on my server. I'm like, it won't be until the end of May. So, or most likely till the end of May. So that's where these bad boys are sitting right now. We've had one update. We'll probably have another before we actually have this pushed out to live. We think this is going to be in 2 phases. Underwater Labs is no slouch. It is definitely a big monument. It changes for every server or every map seed, so almost every server. And so essentially it's built off of the seed, the map seed itself. So you're going to have a different experience, but you can still use green cards, red cards, and blue cards in the monument. So it's got some big boy loot. It's got a whole new faction inside, and it respawns on the regular, and it's a blast. We've tried it on multiple different configurations, and we've pretty much been running this ever since it came out. So it's been out for, I want to say, about 2 weeks or so, and it looks like this will most likely happen, again, if everything goes as planned, by the end of May. So here's the thing. At first we saw all this stuff for the tugboats, and we're like, man, they're like working on it. And then they didn't say anything, and then they kind of slipped it in there, and then they're like, okay, tugboats are happening in phase 2. So I think this is what's going to happen. I think it's going to be Underwater Labs, right, and Submarines at the end of May on normal Rust, so main branch. And then I think on testing, we're going to see this appear at the end of May. Then I think it takes roughly about a month for all of this to cook if everything goes as planned, and then it'll get pushed off into main branch by the end of June. So if you're playing testing branch, we should probably see the tugboat in a handful of weeks. So probably like 2 weeks and change is my guess, because we're what, almost halfway through May now. So either way, we'll keep you guys up to date as it's happening. So if you didn't know, the tugboat is a monster. We've actually been doing a lot of builds and stuff over on live streams, and also, well, just in general, like doing builds that will accommodate a large tugboat. You can see just how big this guy is. It's huge. And also different ways to store your boats and submarines, because yes, you can store said submarines. So we've been testing that out, so a good reason to stop by. And also subscribe to the channel if you think you're into it. Ooh, look at that, a submarine, baby. So yeah, we're doing a lot of that now, getting ready, so we can actually have the sub pens active now, and then we're trying to make our base nice and fortified for when the big stuff comes in, which is, like I said, in about 2 weeks, so it's very exciting. If you didn't know, this little guy is sitting, the model itself is sitting in your game, no matter what version you have right now. If you go to the harbor, you can see this prefab sitting there. In some cases, they're kind of half sunk into the water. But actually, there's no door in the back here. It's actually like sealed. But on this version, you can actually authorize yourself. So this is a base. As you step in, no joke, as you mount it, then hold action button, you can clear authorization. You don't need upkeep. I think this survives for roughly 2 days to 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. But if you start the engine, that timer starts all the way over again. And yes, you can place different doors here, and you can put locks in them and code locks. And then this is a whole area that you can place things down in, like a small base. You can't do electronics, you can't do turrets. But yeah, this thing is a beast. Imagine this thing going, it's roughly the speed of a cargo ship, but imagine the ability to put a bed inside of here and then roll up on oil rig, and if you get smoked by the heavies or other players, you can just respawn. Imagine taking cargo ship on this bad boy, where you've got this thing running on autopilot, and you step out and you're like, you know, I'm the captain now. So like, it's got all kinds of scenarios that are going to make this amazing, and you can also play some things out here as well. So yeah, we can't wait for this. I think a lot of people don't understand how amazing this thing is, but once you get it in game or you see it, you're going to go, okay, that makes sense now. I get why this is so hot. And I believe the limitation per server, if I'm not mistaken, is either 3 or 4 per server. So these will be rare, and these will be hotly contested. So prepare yourself. And if you don't have the testing branch or you don't want to go over there and play, you can always check us out. We're always in there getting stomped on, and so you can kind of see how all of this works out in the real world. Okay, so let's get on to the wipes. Let's cover my custom server first. Over here. Okay, so my custom server has a full wipe, May 16th, 2024, full wipe. Mostly because it's such an active server and we have all BPs unlocked, so it's very fast progression anyways, but it's also for like stability, and we've been doing this, and I think a lot of people like this cycle, so that's where we got it at right now. If you'd like to find our server, you can type in Jade and then sort. Use the filter over here by player slots full list, because a lot of people have been using Jade in the keywords, so it's just a good way to kind of sort it out because we'll show up at the very top. So just type in Jade, and then once you know it's my server, then you can put it on the favorites and you're all good to go. So like it's this name here with the color flourishes and whatnot. So very nice. Also, we do have anti-cheat system there. It's above and beyond the normal stuff. We can't talk about the methods, but just know that we're always watching even when you don't see us in game or see us on the player list. And make sure if you're running into teaming or cheating of any kind, please use the in-game report system. Say who the players are, what grid they're in, who they're associating with, and exactly what's going on. And try to be as specific as possible. It does help us get to them much, much faster. Again, if you're looking for a queue skip or the VIP, that is done through my channel. If you go there and hit join for membership, once you join my membership and then you go over to my community tab here, there is a members only post that will show up for you. Under this post, reply with your gamertag or PSN ID. That way I can keep track of everything, and then when I have it put into the database, I can actually heart it, and YouTube should send a notification to you directly, and then I also echo back what I put into the database, so it's a nice way for you to kind of track to see when it happens and that everything's all accurate, both for you and myself. So it's a good way to do it. Queue skip is great, and that's all it is. Like, there's no kits or anything for sale. That's not how the server works. It's open to everybody. There's no pay to win. There's no admin abuse, and we stay on top of the cheaters. So I think that's why it's on the top 10 or top 5. Last time I checked, I think it was top 5, but I could be wrong. But watch, by this time they're like, it's top 20. I'm like, oh man. Anyway, so if you're looking for a very consistent server with no admin abuse, Jade Monkey 2x solo duo trio. Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like right there. Boom. Okay, moving aboard. Oh yeah, by the way, if you do sign up for VIP and you post to this reply, make sure that it shows up, because I guess some old versions on the mobile, like across Android and iOS, sometimes will like not post it. Just make sure that when you actually put it in there, like you can see it on there. So just a nice double check. It's rare, but it's been happening occasionally to the point where I'm like, yeah, we should probably say something. Okay, on to monthly main branch, also known as, normal Rust. Monthly, Thursday, May 16th, 2024, we have no wipe, which means you keep the blueprints and you keep the map. That should be no surprise for most. Although our next scheduled soft wipe, which could change to a hard wipe, we're not sure yet, is May 30th for monthly main branch. So keep that on your calendars. Just know you're going to have either a soft or a full wipe there. So, get in there and play it while you got it. And also the servers for testing branch, I guess this is worth noting as well. They do typically follow the same pattern as like main branch normal Rust, but they can and will on testing stage and branch PTB, like wipe it or hard wipe it when they need to, because it's in the name. It's testing staging branch, so expect it on occasion. All right, on to weekly. Main branch, May 16th, 2024. We have a softie. That means you keep the blueprints and the map does wipe, so you lose everything, but you keep the knowledge. The servers come back online at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. PST, and 7:30 p.m. BST. Now, these times are either an hour forward or backwards, depending on daylight savings time. This is the time of year where I'm not quite sure what zone where they have daylight savings time, so just know that this is roughly the times. And 30 minutes prior to this is when the server goes down. So essentially, don't sit on your loot for too long. Get out there and make some plays. Have a good time. Have good interactions. Win or lose. That's really what Rust is all about, baby. And honestly, if you're like looking for another server, and I say this a lot, but it's true, like this is the time to go in, check some decayed bases, build up some BPs, and then wait for that wipe, or the soft wipe to happen on weekly. So it's a blast, man. Progression isn't that crazy. We have Tech Tree, you know what I mean? Also, speaking of crazy things inside of the game, There has been, oop, do I have it back here? Yeah, it's back here. There is a secret deep within the Sea Labs, and if you'd like to check it out, it should already be up on the end screen now, and hopefully we'll see you in the next live stream / video, and hopefully we get to see those tugboats really, really soon, and love you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!